to go live. I don't know. Something with the cords through the live off, the computer off. So I'm having to go live from the phone, which is strange because they're all connected on Wi-Fi. And there's data on this phone too. So I don't know what happened. And my TV's on. So I don't know why I keep saying no connection to the computer, because Wi-Fi is on the television. So this is very strange. Well, just to recap, a lot was said during this 29-minute interview between Mr. Andrew and Amber. As I said, there's just a lot that I don't understand with these people, but I'm going to try to resume what I was saying because I was deep into that information, and now all that information I really don't have to repeat all that what I had already said. So I'm just going to resume to where I was. Let's see. When I was last talking to you on the last live stream that got interrupted, Andrew talks about putting his 8.5 steel boot up his child's tail. He's going back and forth with this boyfriend of Amber. The boyfriend's telling how disruptive Boy H has been. But what I said just earlier, what I have a problem with is they're not telling us exactly what H has done. Is it just you're going round and round in circles talking about he's a problem, he lies, he does all these things. Well, what are the things that he's done? Did he steal the mother's money? You didn't mention that about the money, since you're calling him a liar and this and that. The father's denying sending this toaster oven over there to the hospital. He doesn't have control over what she did. That was on her. We hear that this boyfriend is saying he thought H is going to take the money and put it towards cremation and funeral services. But as I said to you all, if a person does not say directly, I'm getting ready to take this money that you're sending me and put it towards a funeral, then they will do whatever they want with the money. You all know the rules with donating cash out, reward fund. It's all the same. It's your choice what you do with your money. Okay? And if a person does not directly tell you, yes, I'm going to go take this to the funeral home service, to a funeral home and pay down on my mother's, it doesn't work like that. The grandmother is over Allie. Any arrangements, medical situations, and I think you all have missed that. And I'm not trying to put H in a positive light. What I'm saying is he didn't have any jurisdiction over Allie's medical situation. He's underage. So he wouldn't have no jurisdiction to pay for a funeral. That's why I was telling people, nobody ever pays attention to what is sitting right in front of you that's obvious. All this back and forth, Amber 1 minute dousing Andrew with gasoline. Now she's on a live feed talking with him, got her boyfriend hooping and hollering and screaming. Don't you all see what's going on? It's just dysfunction. She already knew the boy was trouble. Now you want to tell that on a live stream. Oh yeah, he's a problem. He says your boyfriend, chiming in. Well, tell us what he's done. Besides this Cash App business, tell us what he's done. But you didn't. 29 minutes, and I've heard nothing about what Andrew was doing before this Cash App debacle. Okay. Just a lot of pointing fingers. But H is a product of his father, as I said in that last live stream, okay? So to put it all off on Allie is ridiculous, which Amber told you that. She didn't like that you did that. And I felt like she had every right to call you out because, as she says, I'm entitled to my opinion to say what I want about this entire situation. But my thing is she never said anything on the last live stream when they all were together to say, yeah, H, you have been a problem, but I do believe your father put you up to this, and this. So now we have the father denying ever asking the son to do this interview about Summer or anything else. The boy took it upon himself to take pictures or film the mother. Then we have him saying he thought that was a bad idea. I yelled at him about that. He shouldn't have done that. Well, my thing is, why would he show his mother in the hospital? There had to be a reason. There had to be a reason he would want to film his mother. That sounds like somebody trying to prove something to me. Well, let me show them my mother is sick. They don't believe she's sick. They don't believe she's dying. Let me show them. So see, there's some discrepancy even with this conversation where Andrew's trying to downplay this feeling of Allie in the hospital. And, oh, I told him that was the wrong thing to do. I'm not buying that either. How much money did he get? They're claiming at least $2,500, but how much did he get from Cash Apps? What has he done with the money? Did he give any of the money to his sisters? I'm curious to know that. Did he give any money to the grandmother? So she would have to be the one to bury her. See, this is why I tell everybody, everybody's not paying attention to what is the real issue. The lady has to be buried. And Boy H is not of age to do anything about his mother. Because one, you don't know what the woman set in place as far as her medical bills, her health. Who's to say she didn't sign a document saying, I want my mother to take care of everything, make decisions about my health. See, we don't know that because that hasn't been mentioned. All we hear is she didn't have any insurance, medical insurance. She made too much money. She didn't recertify her Medicaid, which that makes no sense. You know you're sick. Why would you not go call the people and say, hey, I've been ill. I missed the mail, blah, 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 whatever. So allegedly, she does have life insurance, but we don't know who the benefactor is, okay? So see, we go back and forth, insurance, no Medicaid. So now we got to think about lying in the hospital for days on end. How long was she actually in the hospital? I can't see a hospital letting a person stay on a ventilator, long-winded, and they don't have any medical insurance. But as I said before in my last live, I don't know how this hospital operates. I don't know what this lady actually has and don't have, because in the end, we're getting all these versions from these people. Now they're also saying in this live stream that they were lied to. Well, who are they? True and H lied to you all to say the woman had medical insurance. Well, how do I know that they didn't think that she did have medical insurance? Or did the mother tell them, I don't have medical insurance? See, you don't know what's the truth because it's just a bunch of talking heads. You get wind of a marriage to a man who was married to somebody else in California, then went to New York. So obviously the marriage to her is not legal. What's the point in all that? Are you trying to say she had a man in her house recently that she was married to and that he just left her? I'm trying to understand the connotation of talking about this mystery man. On her Facebook page, she does say she's in a relationship. So who was Allie in a relationship with? Very curious to all this information. Thank you all so much for joining me. Welcome to the Vault Excel. Sorry for the confusion with the last live. Cord to the computer, I don't know, wasn't in or on or something. And then everything went blank, which makes no sense because Wi-Fi is on. So I don't know why it would not reconnect back to the computer, but that's a whole nother subject. Okay. The boyfriend of Amber says, we took Graham down there. Down where? To see about the Medicaid. You took her down where? To the DHS office? Hospital? What are you speaking of? Andrew has the nerve to say, at the end of the day, we were all played like idiots. You have a lot of nerve to say that. At the end of the day. You've been hustling and grinding and grifting off a little girl for 2.5 years and your son H. So I don't understand saying anything negative about your son when you know you are not a good fit and you have never been a role model to him. You're not a role model to the children that you have in your home at the present moment. So what is the point in throwing daggers at your son, Boy H, that he's all these ugly things? Well, he's a product of where he came from. And as I said, I'm not here to say that the lady was a bad mother, but obviously they couldn't control him. That's what was said. The mother couldn't control him. This is what Amber is saying. So he should have been put somewhere where he could be controlled. Another facility, juvenile, something. She should have handed him over to the state when he started getting out of trouble. That's what a lot of people do. They either send their kids to some type of boot camp if they can afford it, or they call the state to say, hey, I can no longer take care of my child. They're wayward, they're uncontrollable. And I've always questioned why this boy and other children were living with her mother or whomever way back when this first started, because all that's strange to me. And now here we are talking about the same subject matter now because this lady is in ICU or has passed away. Why were people meddling and trying to raise her children? Why would her mother and sister want to be controlling or were controlling? Is that true, and why? See, all these questions, you don't get no damn answers. As I said, just talking heads, but ain't nobody making no sense about nothing. Was she a bad parent? Did they feel like she's a bad parent? Did they all live together? And that's why everybody was butting heads and putting their business in about her kids being raised a certain way. Were they all living together for these people to meddle? Why would these two women want to control Allie and her children? I don't understand any of this. As I feel, listening to this information, H has learned from the best. Whether he was ever raised with his father or not, he carries the gene pool. So sadly, we have this wayward kid who's gotten into God knows what, don't know all the things he's done, said. But why are we shocked? We can't be shocked. This is what pisses me off about Candace, because it all is starting to make sense to me now. There's a reason you went over there to Kingsport June 15th. I thought about that when I was re-listening to this audio. There's a reason you went to Boy H. You felt some type of connection to him. Sick as it sounds, there is a connection to H. And possibly it isn't appropriate. Because now listening to all this he said, she said about who he is and what he's about, it takes me back to June 15th. You didn't have a relationship with his mother, so truthfully, you didn't have no business messing with the child. You had no business talking to him, messaging him. You know, at first I said it was okay because they all knew each other, but in the end, to keep down chaos, it's best that people don't go behind people's backs and talk to the children, because it can cause conflict. And that's why we are where we are today, because you went meddling with this child, picked him up on this fateful day, and now we have all this mess 2.5 years later with a dying lady, dead lady, all because you went chatting with somebody on TikTok. Just so happened to be in Kingsport. Oh, let me go by. It really doesn't make sense. You know, I had to weigh that today. And Allie plays a role as well, because she allowed this lady to come to her house and pick up her child. See, that's why I tell you, you have to pay attention to everything. She allowed this woman to come pick up a 15-year-old boy, which she really should not have done that. She should not have done that. But that's water under the bridge. Can't go back. Andrew tells this man, I should have let you whoop his, you know what, a year ago. And then the guy said, yeah, I had him too. But I didn't beat him, just poked him in the head, forehead, and they're going back and forth talking about this New York poke, whatever. Just stupid people talk. What was so terrible this man felt like he needed to beat up a child? What had he done to his mother, Allie Harris? You all don't say anything. You don't tell us what was the real deal of why it got heated between you and this boy child, sir. So what did he do or say that you felt like you had to get in his face and put your hand on his forehead? I don't understand, because you're not telling us anything. Today's the day they're supposed to pull the plug on her. I do not know if that's true or not. Andrew says he got this information from the caseworker. He says he feels sorry about what's going on with Allie. I am really, I am. It hurts my soul a little bit. And the fact that the boy has run off with this situation pisses me off. Then the girl, Amber, says she's pissed off too. I don't understand none of this. He was talking about having them on the live. This is what H is saying about the father. He had me on this live and nothing was private. Obviously, he told that to Amber. So what is the truth about it? Andrew's denying the video, the showing the pic of the lady in the hospital. H was claiming that his father wanted this to happen, wanted it to be seen. Obviously, recording him without his knowledge, was filming this live. of this lady in the hospital, whatever. So what is the truth? They were in on it together or no? And why come out and say those things about June 15th, Boy H, if they are contradictory to what you said 2.5 years ago? I find all that strange. So, Andrew, why did you put them on the live, period? Because you can't make it seem like it's all H. Because you're the one with the YouTube channel. See, this is why I tell people nobody pays attention to anything. Boy H is not the one with the YouTube channel. You have the YouTube channel. So for me to sit here and say, this is all H is doing, I'm not a fool. He couldn't have been the one doing all of this because you are the one with the computer and the devices. And now you want to flip it all and make it seem like it's all him. Like, there's no way I believe that. Because this is your channel and your channel was streaming. So just stop the nonsense. In the end, the grandmother's the one that has to make the decision pertaining to Allie. And she should have been the one asking for help for the Cash App. Don't know if grandmother has a Cash App or not, Sherry or whomever, great-grandmother, whomever. But those are the people that should have been asking for money, not a child. Now, if the child said he just needed some help, that'd be on you all. You want to give him some money. But in the end, the one thing that nobody has focused on about the Cash App debacle is that Boy H is not in control of Allie's health care. How is it that you all did not think about that before donating your money? This is why I always tell people to think about what you're saying before you start throwing daggers and bring forward allegations and stupid people, grown-ass people calling them nasty names and stuff. He's still a kid. And I'm not saying that he's been truthful, but what I'm saying is nobody paid attention to the fact that Boy H is in no position to take care of his mother and make life-altering decisions about her. So when you donated money, you took a gamble by doing so. You thought a 17-year-old boy was going to go take $2,000 or $5,000 or $1,000 to pay him services. Even if he had gave it to his grandmother, it still would be on her or whomever to do right with the money. So it doesn't matter who you're donating to. You're hoping they do the right thing. That does not mean that they would. So this is why I wasn't going on and on about the Cash Apps, you see. Because now it just dawned on me, duh. He's not over anything. He doesn't have control over anything. He's still a minor. His sister's older than him. How did you all miss that? Wow. Okay. Somebody asked about his mental state, and he basically said, well, it's obvious that he, has mental problems. Amber said she spoke to the administration at the hospital about information going out of the hospital and people calling in, and she basically said that they would sue the hospital, get multiple lawyers because of the violation of HIPAA. And she has the recording, and the administrator denied that anybody was leaking out any information from the hospital. This is what I want to say about that. Why would any of you call the hospital to speak to Allie? You thought a person was going to get out the coma? Ring. Yes. I'm asking to Allison Harris. This is she. Or are you sick or not sick? I don't know. The hell is wrong with you people? Just the stuff that you people do. It makes no sense to me. I'm telling you, you strangers, you act just as crazy as the people in the story. Why are you calling the hospital? I see calling just to see that she was still there. Okay. But not down in the damn room number. I'm gonna make sure she in there. I'm gonna make sure she in there. Somebody gonna answer me. Lord have mercy. Jesus. Like I just said, why would you dumb you-know-whats think you can reach a lady that's in a coma? Andrew says, why do you think H is not defending himself. And then he looks at her and tell her, do you want to answer that question? He says that to Amber. And he says, because he got what he wanted and poof, done and over. He got what he wanted. Well, we can say that about you too. You were on live trying to book airline flights, bus stations, all this type of nonsense, and you still haven't made it to Tennessee. You're still going live from a New York computer. So one would say, what's all the fuss about H? Look at the apple, look at the tree. Make it make sense. He's such a bad kid. Well, the daddy's bad. How about that? He's learned this wayward behavior, whatever the hell he's been doing, and I'll get some money, don't pay for the funeral. He didn't have to pay for the funeral. Y'all better pay attention. He's a child. You gave a child money. It's like you're talking to yourself up here. I had to really think about this today. Wait a minute. This is a child. And they're going on and on about the cash apps. You gave a child money that's allegedly in the state's care. And as I said, I figured they would need some money to do something pertaining to the house, because I don't know if they're having to move stuff out, get a rental truck. The mother of the Allie should have been the one asking for help, because she will be the one over her well-being, her home, her belongings, her things, not the children. What is it that you all don't understand about that? H was in no position to navigate on behalf of Allie. I said, whoop, that went over everybody's head, obviously. You thought he's going to take some money and go pay on a funeral, and he's 17 years old. Okay. Well, obviously he did not. She goes on to talk about her sister, which has nothing to do with this conversation about Allie. Her sister died in a motel, blah, blah, blah. She's going to probably get back with him to talk about that on his live. Amber's sister died in a Bristol motel, thinking about suing the motel and the police department. Amber, let me say something to you, because I defended you days ago, because like I said, until I learn anything otherwise, negative, suspect, nefarious, I don't throw people under the bus until I, get a little more information about them. Why would you want to talk to Andrew about your dead sister? I don't know if she murdered, whatever, or died suspiciously. Why do you need to take your personal business over here to this nonsense? Why? Go make your own YouTube channel, honey. Go live from Facebook, IG, TikTok, and you can talk about your sister all you want on your own, and you can be the proprietor of the information. Because then you're going to feel some type of way. Cash App's going up. On the screen, it's Andrew's channel. What is wrong with you people? See, just when people say I'm judgmental and I don't give people a chance, I've given quite a few people in the story a chance. Because I want to watch first. I like to gather. I like to come to my own assertion. I don't want to hear about what somebody else feel and what they saw and what they heard. I watch facial expressions, conversation. I like to wait to see who's going to rebut what was said and done. So now we got to wait for H to give a rebuttal, if he's going to give a rebuttal to all this newfound information by Amber, Amber's boyfriend, and Mr. Andrew. Will he reply to these allegations about the Cash App and him not treating his mother well? What did he actually do to the mother? She also mentioned the woman could have went to jail a couple of times. How? See, you didn't elaborate. Everything's vague. He's a liar. He's a liar. He's a problem kid. Okay. Well, what has he been doing? Why was the mother facing jail time for her son? Was she hiding something? Was she hiding dope in her house? Was she hiding weapons in her house? Was she lying to law enforcement about a crime or incidents? Or help us out. They're going back about the dead friend Leslie. I don't know where this person in the chat was trying to take this, but I'm trying to see where they're trying to implicate Boy H in her death. Well, how did she die? Mysteriously? Is it an open investigation? So now we want to loop Boy H into somebody else's death? That's a cold thing to say about a child now, troublemaker or not. So then they go on to say, well, he's at his girlfriend's house at that time, and nobody was staying at the house but Allie, Marquise, and True. Do you see how wicked this has gotten? Now we're going from a little girl, Chris Madonna, wayward child, father jumps on to grift off the boy, sick mother 2.5 years later, cash apps going up, who gave what, who didn't get what, who didn't catch a flight, who took money, to now implicating the boy in the death of the mother's friend. Are y'all hear this? This is why I said the people in the chat are just as dangerous as the people in the story. Gossiping. See, this is going too far. Andrew also tells us during this interview he thought that H was going back to Allie. As I said, don't anybody find it off that he was living with this lady when, I don't know. The fact that at one point it was said he lived with the grandmother years ago. Why is he in the state's care? Because that is still going to go to how he was reared by his mother and what was going on in that house. And as I said, I don't know what was going on in the house. She may have been a nice lady. Maybe she was too nice to her children. They just took advantage of her. But when you start involving CPS, you have to ask all the questions. Who's doing what? Who ain't doing what? This is where a father and a role model would need to be present, Andrew. But you're not in that position because you can't guide your own life. So you could have not have been a parent to these children or who. I don't even really know whose daddy is who. He's Boy H's father. What about the little girl? Who's her daddy? And True, she looks biracial, so that means another man is father. All this is nonsense. Just utter nonsense to me. But like I said, you all don't find it strange. He's living with other people and lived with grandmothers and all this other people over the years. And why isn't he with grandmama now? Why is he in the care of this lady allegedly? Bring me a receipt. He's in the state's care. Bring me a receipt. She's the foster mother of Boy H. Bring me a receipt about the $2,500 food dropped off. Because that don't sound right to me. Foster parents get a stipend every month. So a social worker wouldn't need to drop no food out. Unless they just had some type of fund where they wanted to bring extra food to the foster children's homes. I don't know. It just seems odd to me. Andrew goes on to say something about he's been in violation, I guess, from his behavior. Amber tells us that to the chat member, I don't know the Wells, never met them, blah, blah, blah. Don't know about the case, wasn't living here when the little girl went missing. So that means she's new to Tennessee. What I say to that is, why defend yourself? Why do you feel the need to defend yourself? Because I wouldn't be defending myself to a bunch of random people on somebody else's YouTube channel. And this is where people make their mistake, is going out to social media to defend themselves. This all goes back to this little girl. Had everyone stayed in their lane, Chris Madonna had to went over there interviewing that little boy, we wouldn't even be talking about these people. Now, a lot of people feel like what he brought to the table was pertinent in talking to Boy H, but let's be truthful. What do you know that is the truth from the Chris Madonna interview with Boy H and Candace Bly? I'll wait. What do you know that is actually factual? That you can right now say, I know this truth about what was said to Chris Madonna and all the parties involved. Do you have actual verification for everything said on that porch and at the swimming hole and at 110 Ben Circle Way. Somebody in the chat asked Amber, did Allie ever tell you that Boy H did something to Summer? She said no. The mother never did anything that he was involved in the disappearance of the said child. Once again, Andrew lets it be known I did yell at him about putting his mother on camera. But as I said, maybe he did it to prove to people, the naysayers, that his mother was actually ill and in ICU. I don't know. Something about Chris grooming some child to be with Hunter. What the F? I don't understand what that's about. But then Andrew replies back, he heard it from a child. And then Amber replies, I don't know where that is coming from. So I'm very confused what the hell they're talking about there. This Chris person and grooming Hunter to be with another child. What do you mean by grooming him? Because you know that sounds like SA. So I don't understand what you're saying. Or grooming him to be promiscuous. What do you say? Maybe some of these people don't need to be around the children either. I don't know, because I don't know any of these Chris and Amber, this boyfriend. I don't know any of these people. I'm just listening to what they're saying. It looks like to me it's a bunch of going back and forth. This is why I never dwelled on the Cash App stuff. I'm very meticulous about what I talk about, and I'm meticulous about what I will give my opinion on. And my spirit told me, don't dwell on the Cash App stuff just yet, because there's more to come to the story. See, I don't need to get up here and, make mockery of a boy, because in the end, he's still a child. I think we already gathered he's been wayward. But I don't need to call him dirty names and all that. That's not necessary. That's just highly unnecessary. I just waited, because my spirit said, there's going to be more to this. So just hold off before you start talking about the Cash App business. Just hold off, because there's more to come. And as you see, what do we have here? Double backing. Or some people in the street would say backsliding. Okay. No proof that the girlfriend is pregnant. Boy H's girlfriend is pregnant. Supposed to be having twins. And Andrew says, if you want to believe anything he says, that Boy H says she doesn't look like she's carrying twins. Once again, did he have that conversation with his father? They haven't seen any Facebook posts of anybody showing or talking about a baby. As I told you, I saw her in that little black sweatshirt. I thought maybe she had, a little poof in her stomach. But as people are saying, naturally, maybe she just put on weight and she gains weight in her stomach. I don't know what's the truth. I have no idea what is the truth about the young lady. Andrew goes on to talk about what actually happened to Allie to lead to her being in the ICU. And he said, I heard she had fallen, hit her head. And then Amber says, yes, she did. She fell, hit her head, had a seizure. She said that's what was told to her about Allie's condition, which led to her to get into the hospital. She is known to have had seizures. But Amber claims I wasn't around the doctor who has given the information pertaining to Allie's health. This situation has nothing to do with the Wells, says Amber. She basically said she did not trust this toaster oven person because she walked up while she was at this hospital and claimed that she was Andrew's mod. And it wasn't hearsay. She heard it herself because she said she was standing there with True and whomever, or she was eyewitness to it. Then there's some talk about a Shades of Grey funeral home. I don't really understand what all that conversation was about. I think it's pertaining to her sister who died. Maybe she didn't like the way they handled the funeral. I don't know. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Once again, he denies sending Toaster Oven to the hospital. That she took it upon herself and he has no control over what people do. What I find interesting about that statement, as I said in the live that went bust, he didn't hold his head up when he was talking about Toaster Oven. Amber's looking into the camera while she's talking. Toaster Oven comes up. Andrew looks down. I think he's lying. I think you did send her over there to see what she could find or hear or whatever and bring you back to 411. I think that. And Toaster Oven, you don't have any business going over to nobody's house or bothering them, and you definitely had no right to go to the hospital. If Andrew or anybody in America wanted to know what was going on with Allie and her care or whatever, they should have marched their little booty on down to the hospital and found out for themselves, and they would have got their ASS escorted out of there, because nobody has a right to be snooping around hospitals, clinics, trying to get personal information about a person. You all are not news reporters. You don't work for the news. You're not investigators. You don't work with TBI. You don't work with the sheriff's office. You're not bounty hunters. So you don't have no business going to the damn hospital, asking nobody nothing, stalking the lobbies or stalking out in the damn parking lot. You people are doing too much. Will Toaster Oven rebut this information from Andrew? Since you're his mod, he's saying I didn't send you. So what will you reply now? We will see. Once again, you say she's going through a lot, Toaster Oven. But what the hell does that have to do with Allie? So here we go. See, he's downplaying it. That's why I know he sent her there. I keep praying. And they said, well, you know, she's going through a lot. Well, she's going through a lot. She shouldn't have time to be going around to the hospital and dropping off food. She should be like, I'm too busy. I don't feel good. I ain't well. I ain't mentally stable. It's a bad day. I don't know why people talk and think people can't read between the lines. See, that's the one thing I do. I listen and I watch. I watch people's demeanor. I watch how they talk, how they respond. You're trying to downplay what she did over at the hospital. You're trying to downplay your role because you never even said it. Now, what Toaster Oven did was wrong. She shouldn't have went over there. She should have left well enough alone. See, you didn't say that. That's what leads me to believe that you're complicit. Okay? Then you're going to sugarcoat it with, well, she's going through a lot. So basically, you're making excuses for why she went over there, which makes no sense. You're contradicting yourself. She's going through a lot that she would have no time to be over there. Hey, I can't go over there. Ask somebody else to do it. She's going through a lot. What's wrong with her? She died? Somebody in her family's passed away, or she lost somebody, the cat died, the dog died. What do we say? See, all this extra stuff that gets put into the story, nothing has nothing to do with nothing. Boyfriend, girlfriends, toaster oven, easy bake oven, what the you know what? Just people jumping in the story to be relevant. This is how Andrew got in the story. Duh. This is how he got in the story. From a little girl that his son was hanging around with. Now we all the way over here on 15th Street in New York, 2.5 years later, pertaining to a sick lady. Now, Amber claims that maybe they spent money on Bojangles and, you know, took the food to the hospital or whatever, or over there to that lady's house. I'm assuming, where was the food taken? Whoever bought food, where did they take it? To Allie's own apartment or over to the house where H stays with the girlfriend's mother, whomever? They talk about this wifey thing. That's what they call themselves in New York. Women classify a girlfriend, good friend as a wifey. I wouldn't do it personally because somebody would think that I'm saying I date a woman. or I'm married to a woman. So I don't know what y'all do in New York, but I ain't calling no another woman my wife. Hell no. That's y'all. Andrew goes on to say, we admit when we wrong. We're from a small town. We small town people admit when we are wrong. You know I don't believe that. Because you've been milking the system of the universe off your son. So you do not appear as a truthful person to me, my opinion. Let me say this, because this was mentioned about the insurance. Why would the children lie about the mother having insurance, knowing they're going to need money to bury her? The grandmother who's supposed to be in charge. See, this is why I tell you, nothing makes any sense. This is why I try not to say a lot about this whole situation, because listening to this information now, it's illogical. I'm going to use my brother. Boy H, you try to get the money for mama. Ain't nobody going to pay no hospital bills knowing the person is dying. Why would I do that? Why am I going to try to get money for a person dying in the hospital for a medical bill? She's dying, allegedly. So I'm not going to try to get no money. I'm going to try to get money to get everything settled for afterwards. Who cares about medical bills and you're dying? That's why I say everything's up to the hospital and her medical insurance, if she had it or didn't have it. But I can't see somebody lying to get money for cash out and say, well, she got insurance, or she got medical insurance, or she got life insurance. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And the one thing about life insurance is this, Andrew, you really act like you just don't got no kind of common sense for a grown-up. When a person dies, you have to put money down on the funeral services and whatever else you want to have for the funeral. Therefore, that means you have to have American currency. Say it again, Queen. You have to have American currency. So with American currency, the life insurance does not play a role until about a month or so later when they get the death certificate, verification the person died, verification there was no foul play, then the insurance will pay out. The insurance does not pay out just because you call, hey, just want to let you know my mama died. Can I get that check? Can I get the payout? You got to verify who you are as a beneficiary, excuse me. What planet is everybody from? Damn. All of this is BS, in my opinion. Now I can finally say what I want to say. The grandmother should have been the one asking for help from the public and whomever. H is in no position to delegate his mother's health care, number one. He cannot delegate service, what to do with funeral services because he is a minor. He's in the state's care, let you all tell it. Now, if he wanted to kindly take money to pay on services for his mother that he got from Cash App, yes, that would be the noble thing to do. But he cannot go into the hospital and tell the doctors to pull the plug on Allison Harris. He cannot delegate anything at her previous apartment because he is a minor, he has an older sibling, and there's also a mother involved. So what is everybody confused about? Lord have mercy. Was Toaster really asking questions about Allie? I don't know. All this information is coming from Andrew, Amber, A little bit of information came from True about, the nonsense of whatever was going on up at the hospital, which I would assume something possibly was going on. Different people may have their opinion of who was at the hospital doing what, saying what. This is what I keep trying to explain to people about life. I don't know why it's so hard to understand. Everything is about a version. You do not know people. You do not know what's the truth. You don't know if somebody was raising hell, cursing, asking personal questions, bothering the security desk, doing this, doing that. You got to have a receipt. Everything you're hearing is coming from these people. I don't know what the truth is, quite frankly. Yes, have to have proof of his passing and that I am the beneficiary. Exactly. Dad already told me who to contact, etc. Exactly. Adults know how it works. Yes. She offered to pay for cremation. Okay. They're all liars. Okay. See, as I said before, I didn't jump on a bandwagon to say anything negative about any of the people because I wanted to watch it all unfold. I just wanted to see where everything was going to go. When I start seeing people jump on panels and start talking, of course, I'm going to be leery just because we know how that panel jumping stuff can go. People will say anything for attention. People do make up stuff. You just don't really know. So what I do is I wait. I gave everybody the benefit of the doubts. And that's what I did. And as I said, until I see otherwise, then I will form a negative opinion. I didn't jump the gun on Amber. I didn't jump the gun on Hunter because I wanted to see where it was going to go. And I don't have to do all that crazy nonsense, acting crazy and falling all out. Like I'm personally involved. It's all jacked up, quite frankly. Yeah, no receipts. Yeah, that's my point. I don't have to do all that. Calling them nasty names. I saw this lady talking bad about H the other day, calling them nasty names. I thought, why you got to do all that? Nobody ever said the boy was an angel. But the point is, I don't know him. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know who's in cahoots with who to try to get money. I don't know anything. And let's be truthful, like I said, he put up a cash app somewhere. People sent money to it. That is on you to send money, and that is on you to assume he is going to pay. But like I said, he's a child, and I think a lot of people have forgotten that. You're dealing with a child. You're dealing with a childlike mind, a childlike demeanor. So all these people cussing and fussing about how he act, he says, I was going to whoop his tail, put my foot up his. You knew you was dealing with a child. And had you put your hands on him, your ass would have went to jail. I don't care what he did. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Isla. Thank you all so much. You would have went to jail for putting your hands on him. I don't care what he did because he's a minor. And then you sit up here on a live stream talking about kicking a 17-year-old's butt. You people are just so stupid. You don't think about stuff. I don't know what's wrong with boy H. I don't know what's got his mind all tangled up to where he's in doing whatever they say he was doing. I just find it strange that nobody's told us what he was doing. Because I think that was the perfect time to bring up the stolen money. Don't you think that was the perfect time, Amber? You went on this live stream. Why you didn't tell us what happened to the money or what you think happened to Allie's money? Has it been rectified? H says it's something with hacking of the cards or something. You should. This would have been your perfect opportunity to say, oh, and let's talk about Allie's stolen money. This is what I think happened. You just a whole opportunity you let slide by because you're too busy up here canoodling with damn Andrew. Yeah, I said it. Y'all doing too much. Yeah, she was calling him all kind of nasty names, and I was like, what is the point in all that? You ain't got to do that. He's still a kid. I don't care what the boy done done. He's not my child. That's how I look at it. He ain't mine, I ain't responsible for H. And it's obviously he's troubled. He is troubled. There's something going on with him. He's not the first. He ain't the last. But nobody should really thought this boy was getting ready to pay somebody's funeral, and he's still a kid and got a child's mind. This is why he needs guidance. The boy needs guidance like ASAP. But he's almost 18. They're already saying, well, we can't tell him nothing. He don't want to listen. But then you got to ask yourself, who are you to say H won't listen? If you haven't been in a person's life, you haven't shown them love, you haven't shown them that you care, why would they listen to you? That's like some random person just walking in here. Oh, hey, Big Edge, I love you. I care about you. But we don't talk. We don't deal with each other. When we do deal with each other, it's ratchet. It's arguing. It's whatever negative. And I'm supposed to say, oh, you care about me. It doesn't make any sense. You know, I'm a champion for the children. That's who I am. I'm a champion for the children. I know children are wayward because usually it's because of the environment that they're in. So people can try to downplay all this they want. Maybe you all need to be trying to look at the fact that maybe there was something going on with Boy H for him to be in this light that he's been portrayed in as a liar, this and that. Did that ever occur to anybody? That there's something wrong with his life, how he was raised, what he saw. Because we know he doesn't have a father figure, so that left the mother, the grandmother, and the great-grandmother. And women just cannot control boys. Boys fare a little bit better when they have a strong father figure, because most boys do not want to go against their male fathers. It's not to say that boys have not, but some just won't, because they already know, oh, hell no, I don't want to get him started. I don't want to get him crunk. He needed a role model and definitely needed a strong male in his life to tell him, hey, these things you are doing, they are not right. Don't like your tone. Don't like that you're not obeying the rules. He hasn't had that. Same thing for a girl. The rules are the same for children. And it's not to say that you could be the most loving parent, be there for your child, support your child. Yes, they will go do what they want because they're little people and they think they've got a free thinking mind. But a lot of you want to put Boy H as a grown-up. He's not. He has a child's mind. And he will probably keep continuing to F up until he decides he wants to stop and get himself together. So he don't need to be nobody's baby daddy. He don't even need to have no girlfriend. And I have a problem with this mother. Because I'd like to know why everybody's tattletelling on Boy H. Why aren't you all telling CPS he is sleeping in the house with his girlfriend? Now, how old is she? And she's supposed to be pregnant. You think the state would allow this? So, Andrew, why are you on the phone with the social worker? Did you tell her, oh, he's sleeping in the house with his girlfriend under the mother's nose and you all put him there? This is why you know this is bullshit. That nobody is focusing on the real fucking problem is that there's something going on in Kingsport with this child's child rearing and placement allegedly in the care of a woman whose daughter is screwing him. Now you want to talk about something, talk about that. Everything's about cash out, cash out, cash out. Okay, he got the money. He didn't pay for the funeral. Okay, now what? Like I told people, Stop trying to make him be an adult, because he's not. The people that are adults don't act like adults that's in the damn story. And I'm not trying to put Boy H on a pedestal, because I'm sure people, when they listen to me, they'll think, oh my God, she's supporting Boy H. No, what I'm supporting is common sense. That you glaze over shit that's important, and you want to pick and choose what you want to throw a dagger at. What you should be throwing a dagger at is he wasn't raised right. He didn't have proper people on his ass so he could follow in line. And if they thought they were doing the best they could and he still wouldn't obey the rules, then you should have sent him some damn where. That's the point. All this tattletelling and shit on live streams, what is it solving? Because what did I tell you the other day? In the end, Allie has to be buried. Somebody has to pay for that, whether she's cremated or not. That should have been the focus. Getting the lady buried when it was time. All this old extra stuff is just fluff for videos. This is why I didn't like talking about them after so many months went on, after Summer went missing, because it's just the same round and around story. He said, she said, and you're still back to square one, which is nowhere. And that's basically where we are now. Because I'm going to ask the question on this live stream. Is the woman still alive? There's also services that are free for a low-income person who passes. See, that's what I'm trying to say. This should have been on the grandmother. You were the one over Allie. You should have been the one on a live stream saying, hey, my daughter's not doing well. We don't have any money. She doesn't have any savings. We've got a lot to do with her belongings, this, that, and the other. Shifting of children from place to place. We need some money for funeral arrangements or cremation. So when you go live, you tell the people exactly what you got. If you have to show a receipt to show this is what the funeral home is charging to bury her or cremate, which is however, show the documentation. Say, if you don't trust to give me the money through Cash App, PayPal, feel free to send the money to the funeral home. And then you have a little chit chat with the funeral home and tell them, I need an itemized statement of everything, verification of what people have donated and paid, and let me know when it reaches the amount that's due, it's cut off and we done. That's all that had to be done. And you could have bypassed all this extra stuff. But when you're dealing with people who are grieving and mourning, or maybe they don't have the education, this is what you get. So I'm going to ask Boy H, have you given any of the money from your Cash App to your grandmother or your sister? What have you done with the money? I think what we talked about on a few channels is she had passed because it is public information. Okay. You said it, Angie, single mothers and boys. Oh my God, been there. Yeah, it's a tough job. H is 17, still not 18, and none of us know if he has a possibility of a care plan because he was apparently diagnosed with ADHD, source Chris M interview. Well, that's the point I've been trying to make during the live streams pertaining to the situation, is that it's more to it than just what you're hearing, because it always is. And those are the things that never get addressed during people's live streams. They're just so busy wanting to go live and put up all these old titles of who's doing what and doing this. They're not even addressing that these are real people. Whether you like them or not, you actually know what's going on, they're still real people. And my thing is, once you've dealt with death and you've dealt with situations of needing money to bury a person, pulling the plug, you can't really speak for that because you haven't been through that. I have. And I don't believe in allowing a person to suffer. Okay? That's me. I'm not them. But it's cruel. If the doctor tells you There is no signs of life here. The ventilator is the only thing keeping the person alive. They've got this wrong, this illness, cancer spreading. Why am I getting ready to argue with the damn doctor? I'm going to say, oh, okay. Well, I need to make the right decision. No different than having a sick animal. A lot of you like pets. Are you just going to keep going to the veterinarian, buying medicine to dope up your cat, your dog? But you see the dog, cat is suffering. You've got a diagnosis of what's wrong with the animal. But you're going to keep going to the vet and getting medicine. Does that make sense to you? Yes, it's not easy. That's why I said I wasn't going to judge them about pulling the plug, because some people just can't grapple with seeing the person there. They're looking at them and maybe they're saying to themselves, man, I want them to get up. Man, please. Oh, I know you're in there. I know you can hear us. Some people, there's other people will say, well, it's just a scam. They know the lady died. They just trying to get all this money. What money? Where is the lump sum of money? Because from my understanding, the only two people that were asking for money was Andrew and Boy H. I haven't heard that True asked for money. I haven't heard that Sherry asked for money. And I haven't heard that the great-grandmother, she's allowed to ask for money. So where is all this grand money? You gave money to a child. You gave money to a child. You're angry that you gave money to a minor. Okay? Hello, everybody. Yes, it is time to make a grown-up decision. But that's up to the mother of Allie to do that. Not Boy H, not True. I'm assuming she would talk to them, about what they want to do as far as, taking her off of the ventilator. But that is their choice how they navigate that. I just think this is just a wicked tale of how things can go terribly, terribly wrong pertaining to a person being sick and a person dying. I think it's just jacked up. As I said, I didn't want to assume this boy was trying to scheme anybody. I just didn't want to think that. I said, I'm going to wait and I'm going to let everything play out. I'm going to see all the players involved. I want to wait and see, if they pull the plug on the lady. I want to see if there are funeral arrangements made. Let me see. I don't navigate by other people's channels and what they're talking about and all of that. I don't work like that. I have never worked like that. And I also know that talk is cheap. So no matter what a person is saying on a live chat, what they're going to do and not do, that doesn't mean anything to me either, because I've seen what people do when they go on live streams. People will say anything and profess to do this and that, and it goes in one ear and out the other. Sometimes they don't do what they say they're going to do. That's expected because people just aren't genuine. I said I'm going to wait to see if the lady is still on the ventilator, how many days are going to go by. I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to see if they ever pull the plug. I'm going to see if funeral arrangements are made. I'm going to just wait it out to see. And here I am now. It's days later. Nothing. But I think besides Cash App debacle, I don't know how that's going to fare well. The state gets wind that the boy got money through the Cash App. They're going to have to prove he got money through the Cash App. And if he has any sense right now, he's probably listening to the live stream from his father. Your best bet would be to delete the Cash App, because anybody can go in and pull up your profile and see that you do have a Cash App, or there's somebody has a profile with your picture on it. So if H has any sense, he would delete the Cash App. That was also mentioned, grand larceny. I found that interesting. Coming from somebody who stays in trouble and likes grifting off of people from social media, what do you care? What do you care that it's grand larceny? Oh, because he's in the state's care. It's grand larceny? How's it grand larceny? They gave him the money. He didn't steal it. Boy H didn't steal the money. Somebody, plural, gifted him the money. There's a difference. So there's no grand larceny. See, this is how you know the father is something wrong with him. Because you are spewing all this venom out about your son when he's a product of you, and you're accusing him of the behavior that you have exhibited and continue to exhibit on YouTube. So it's hypocritical. There's something wrong with all of them. How about that? Nobody in the story has any damn sense, from what I can see. Nobody has any sense. Donna says he is actually an outsider, chose not to be a part of his son's life until June 15, 2021, and he saw money. Of course. So all this throwing the son under the bus, everybody going back and forth, throwing daggers at each other on live streams, it's just ridiculous. And Amber, you should have known better than to go on Andrew's live anyway. You could have just went and spoke for yourself and said, well, I thought Boy H was going to, put some money down for the funeral services. He didn't. I'm disappointed, and left it at that. But you also are the same person that knew what type of child he is. I don't know the child. I don't know what H has been doing. So that's why I always say I don't claim to know anything. I don't put my stamp on anything. I'm not getting ready to say, oh, he's doing this, he ain't doing this. I'm not stupid. I know he's a child. I look at the Facebook page. I see the pictures with the weapon and the throwing up this and that. I'm not a dodo bird. But what I'm not going to do is sit up here and call a child nasty names on my network. I don't have to do all that to prove a point of saying, yeah, 9 times out of 10, he probably is wayward. Well, bring me a receipt and show me what the hell he's been doing. That's all I ever ask about anybody. You're going to throw daggers, accuse them of something, then bring a receipt. Show me what you're talking about. So far, I ain't heard and seen, I ain't seen nothing. Just the Cash App situation. Show me what he's been doing. Does he have a new arrest record? Have you all investigated the cars allegedly that the mother has missing money? Has the bank investigated? Do you have a suspect about the money? Why not talk about that? Because my thing is, if you want to say he's all these terrible things, then show us something. Show us this is what Boy H has been doing. This is what he's been doing to his mother. Tell us something. Just talking in circles. And I just think a person who sits up here on social media yelling at other children that don't belong to them, always begging people for money, begging their Facebook friends for soda pop and potato chip money, how dare you sit up here and talk about your child wayward? What are you doing to make it better? You're not making it better. You're not saying, hey, son, I need to talk to you. This is what you don't want to do. I've been down this road. I've been in trouble with the law. I've been grimy. I'm still grimy. I don't hear none of that. Just, I told y'all so. I told you the truth will come out. You'll hear the truth about blah, blah, blah. Man, miss me with all that. You just want to be right when you know you're not right. You want to throw the dagger at something that's your seed and possibly is mimicking traits just like you. You took advantage of H in 2021, and he's taking advantage of his mother in 24. You're both even. Well, she's been living down here, Pat. That's the information that I mentioned in the first live that went down. But she explains, that they grew up with each other in New York. Let me put that in the chat because all those notes are mentioned in the first live that went down. She explains that they grew up together in Gloversville. She's known her since a child, so she's not new to the situation. She's not new to Allie and the children's lives. She's been knowing Allie for years. They're all, I guess, were friends, associates, and that's why I say that I tried to figure out how, she fit in, how long she's known her. She's saying she's not new to these people's lives. They grew up together in New York. So Allie is here because of her, is what she said during that live stream. Allie wanted a better life for her children. That was also mentioned, her crossing state lines. Andrew said if he really wanted to be a bad person, he could have had her prosecuted for kidnapping, blah, 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 but he didn't. So you're entitled to think whatever you want. But allegedly, she brought her children here for a better life. I lost my son in April 22, 18th to a fake friend. He doesn't get it, and his dad isn't helping. Okay. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, Devilish. Welcome, everybody. New listeners, viewers, new subscribers. Thank you so much for tuning into the network. I appreciate it. You said, last heard Amber and hubby lives close enough to Hunter and all. I don't know. It is all so crazy. Well, I'm going to say what I've always said. And I've said this, if you go back into my library, when Summer first went missing and H came on the scene, and I told you what I thought of his mother and all these people, there's a reason that the mother befriended Candace, vice versa. And I'm going to let that sit right there. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, Jenny. I'm cold right now. I'm by this window and I am cold here in my bedroom. It's just chilly and the temperature is kind of low. But that's the thing that people need to understand about everything that you're hearing. These people were all in conjunction with one another before the little girl went missing. And that's the gist of the story. And they became a part of the story because of Chris Madonna. And I'm sure right now, if Allie could speak and knew what was going on, that would be the first thing that would come to her mind. Had I not let that man talk to my child, nobody would know anything about me, assume anything about me, assume anything about my child, my children. And Andrew wouldn't be in the picture. See, it's the old fable, one thing begets another. We are all here, truthfully, because of Chris Madonna. Some of you like him. Some of you like the content. But see, I weigh everything for what it's worth. You went down there talking to a child with an open investigation. And you're a cop, an ex-cop, and you knew better, but you did it anyway. And they obliged you. Now, all that is why we're here today. She allowed that man to talk to her son, and she should not have done that. Because a lot of you thought, well, we learned a little bit. We learned this. What did you learn? Because what do I keep telling you? Everything is a version. You don't know what's the truth. Some of you thought he lied during that interview with Chris Madonna. Some of you thought Allie lied. You thought she was coaching him. Everybody had their opinion, okay? He talks to Candace. You felt like she was lying. And he even said to her near the end of that interview at the swimming hole, he said, Candace, what are the odds of your child going missing at 110? Thank you, girl. Thank you, sweetie. See, he had buttered her up. He buttered her up, as somebody said, to get close, to get her comfortable. And then went right for the jugular at the end. Now, Candace, what are the odds of your child going missing? You all don't find that an interesting comment? Thank you, Selena. Because he wanted Candace to think about her claim, okay? That somebody came in there and took her child. So all of this nonsense is playing out with this family. It's because somebody went to Kingsport to talk to this little boy. And it has steamrolled ever since. Orange Jesus says H needs protection, in my opinion. Very interesting. Why do you say that? Who does he need protection from? I'm curious. Who does he need protection from? For those who didn't watch that interview, it's 29 minutes long. I didn't play the audio because I didn't, they were cursing and doing all that kind of stuff. I didn't want to put all that on my live stream. But, I just want to try to rehash, some of the things about why did Amber go on the live? Why did the husband give his opinion about almost going toe-to-toe with him? We hear about life insurance benefactor. We hear that Allie married a man that's married to other people. So her marriage is illegal. Who was she dating at the time? Was he staying in the house? Who all lived in the house? They talked about Social Security benefits for Bear, not applied for. Who has that child? Where is everybody staying? Did Hunter give True any money? Did he give the grandmother any money? Where's True's dad? Where's Bear's dad? Or is Andrew the father of Bear? All these questions I asked on the live that got cut. What else did I ask? What is the truth to all of this? The girlfriend being pregnant, not pregnant. With twins, not twins. So far, nobody's verified that the girl is pregnant. Why would he put that out that she's pregnant? You also heard that they thought he was jealous of True, so this is why he's talking about the girlfriend. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. All this is very strange to me. Very, very strange. This mess about Easy Bake Oven. He denied sending her over there. Somebody wanted to send food, but her claim is that she told Amber, the daddy, Andrew sent me over here to check on you all. But then we also got information from that earlier live. They felt like she was imposing, being nosy. People calling the hospital. Amber tells us, I told the administrator, I will get lawyers. We will get lawyers because you let information get out about her and allowing people to try to call to the room, which I said is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I think Andrew also mentioned $2,500. He mentioned $2,500 in food. I think that's funny that allegedly that's how much money he allegedly got through Cash App. Don't you find that strange? Both the same dollar amount. This is all coming out of the mouth of Andrew. The caseworker dropped off $2,500 worth of food on Friday. But yet, allegedly, that's about the same amount of money Andrew got through Cash App. People in his chat saying they want their money back. Some lady, crazy grandma, wants her money back. He says, I don't have your money. Our Cash Apps aren't connected. I've been told you that. You knew damn well his Cash App wasn't going to be connected to Boy H's Cash App. And as you see, he hasn't left New York to come down here to see about his son or Allie's condition. Nothing. Because there was no plan to come to Tennessee. So when you sit here and talk bad about your son, you're talking about yourself. You're talking about yourself. because you haven't been a good role model for him. So all this going back and forth on panels and live streams, you know, it's redundant. Once again, will Easy Bake Oven respond to Andrew saying he didn't send you over there to the hospital? You were supposed to be dropping off some food and just on the porch, not to talk to Boy H directly. It's just the truth that Andrew is saying. I don't want to believe anything because I don't care for him and I don't like the way he carries himself and the way he talks. It's very disrespectful, and I'm not going to sit here and believe you didn't send that lady over there. And to sit up here and say, well, I don't have control over what people do. They do what they want to do. Well, we don't know that because that's the whole gist of this story. We don't know who's doing what, who sent whom where, what's the truth, who had words at the hospital. I don't know. But I know it's wrong to be calling that damn hospital and speak to Allie. If she's in a coma, how's she going to speak to any of you? Now, that's just ignorant. And I'm sure 1,000 people have called just to verify that Allie's in there. So allegedly the calls have stopped. I guess to her room. He tells us that he yelled at his son about putting the mother on film, camera. Don't know how true that is. Boy H tells you, excuse me, the father was down with that. Him talking about Summer and the filming of Allie. Know what's the truth? Some type of information about Chris grooming the child to be with Hunter. What child is that? This is the same lady that was on the live stream. Why would she be grooming somebody's child to be with Hunter? Andrew goes on to say he heard it from a child. So what child is that came back and told you that Chris is grooming a child to be? I don't even understand where y'all taking this. And this sounds like some hanky-panky, sicko, wacko, inappropriateness. And I don't know nothing about all that. This is why I said, you all pick and choose the stupidest stuff to talk about on live streams. But you don't bring a receipt to nothing. So now you're going to put out some more rumors about the boy. And we don't even really know what the hell you're trying to allude to. Pregnant, not pregnant. The girlfriend, once again. Not that it has anything to do with this information. Amber lets us know she don't know the Wells, never met any of them, and wasn't living here at the time. I just think all this is just whack. The boy was uncontrollable, couldn't be controlled, always caused problems for the mother. Times when she could have went to jail, says Amber. You don't tell us what those incidents are, how she could have went to jail. So why even talk about it? Why didn't the lady send the boy out somewhere? Don't get no answers to that. He has a chemical imbalance, says the father. Obviously something wrong with him. Basically, Amber's just saying she did the best she could. She tells him, well, I didn't like the things you said about her, him being her child, her ways. And he says, well, he acts like her when he gets on the phone. He acts just like her. Well, he's her child, just like he's a product of you. This is bad, bad, and bad. And frankly, what is the 411 pertaining to Allie? That's all I want to know. I'm not going to hold you all much longer because I want to come back later on after I get a little food in me and talk about this. I really don't want to talk about this next subject because I'm behind on some information I'm supposed to be bringing about some other cases. I can never bring content about my other cases because this is always, it's like a snowball. It just doesn't stop. When you start talking about Summer Wells and all these other people, I can't even get the other information out because this always is something. And I just said that. With Candace putting up that post about the church honoring the little girl's birthday, I just said yesterday, going to be something else, and then that came up. Then last night, I'm scrolling through the queue. Here comes the new information of a sighting of Summer. And I'm sure many of you want to talk about that. Oh, Lord, jeez. Hello from the Philippines. This whole thing was a scam the minute the opportunity alley was not in the picture. I wouldn't donate or trust a word from any of them. Okay. and out of 500 in his chat can't speak up and say, hey, let's just let it be the girls. Okay. I'd like to hear your other stories. Thank you. Yeah, because there's a story out west that's very interesting. 3 men were found frozen to death out in a yard after watching a football game. And the guy wouldn't open the door. One of the girlfriends or fiance of one of the dead men broke into the house. And I'm trying to understand, you hear somebody knocking on the door and then you just gonna let them break in your house? And then she goes in the backyard and sees her fiance dead or on the back porch. This is a very wicked story. And I want to bring that story. I still haven't done my migrant story, the busing of the migrants. I just got a lot of stuff. There's updates to other stuff, Koiberger and all that. Can't get to it because of this foolishness here. All this foolishness. And now we got somebody talking about thinking they saw Summer Wells. Well, that was debunked allegedly by a sheriff. I listened to that video last night. That's some more shenanigans. And I told myself when I was listening, if I was going to hand my, excuse me, if I was going to hand my child, excuse me, to somebody to take for whatever reason, I'm not getting ready to give a plastic tub with my damn last name on it. For what? This don't make no sense. I like your voice so much, I seem to actually process. Okay, thank you, sweetheart. The Daybell case requires motion to dismiss himself from the case. Yeah, I gave that update the other day. That Mr. Daybell doesn't have any funds to pay for his attorney. There's some information about the Frankie children, how they're doing. I need to bring that update. That's why I said there's a lot of stuff I need to be talking about besides this nonsense here. Because this is just nonsense. Thank you, sweetheart. Well, I'm going to say this before I check out of here, because I'm almost at an hour and 30 minutes, 190 in the room. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Do you believe this guy who is anonymous on his YouTube channel says he's not here to gain any money, get any attention, but he thought he saw who could have been Summer, but he said he could be wrong. But the sheriff came and debunked the sighting of Summer Wells. Lord have mercy. Lord, I can't. I ain't never seen nothing like this. What kind of world we live in where it just don't stop? Nonsense. They're already talking about how he talks to them, but continues. You did what, honey? Another diversion. Yeah, I thought that too. I thought that too. And I told myself, you know what would be interesting? Because we probably never find out. That this is some Donald Wells Candace BS. Because as I told you all in the other lives, I said, all this talk about Allie, then here comes that post from Candace, and then she's saying, well, I'm just posting the venue where they're having it. You know, basically trying to, dismiss she got anything to do with the honoring of her own daughter's birthday. And then here comes this anonymous video of this man telling his story of meeting these Christian people that live where he lived, and he thought the little girl favored her, and they called the police, and it wasn't. Then I watched another video he had put up before that where he's sitting in like a rocking chair, rocking back and forth with a heater on him, and he's saying, he's talking about this couple that had the child. Think about that for just a second. An elderly couple that's highly religious. Wouldn't they want to go to church? He's a pastor. Wouldn't he want to go to church? Wouldn't they want to go praise the Lord? So they're going to leave the little girl where? At home? They're not going to take the little child to church with them? Don't you think somebody in North Carolina would recognize the little girl? I don't care if they dyed her hair. They put hair rollers in her hair to give her ringlets. You still can look at a child and say, that's the same as that little girl that's missing in Tennessee. Oh, Lord have mercy. God, I can't stand it. It's all entertainment to these clowns on disability, the hoaxes. Oh, my God. I ought to be a preacher, honey. I can't be no preacher. I'm a sinner. I can't be no preacher. But nonetheless, oh, Lord have mercy. He says the sheriff came, and said that's not her. So I'm assuming they got pictures, took the pictures and compared them to the child, and realize that's not Summer Wells. But I get what you're saying, because that's what I thought this morning when I was looking at the content. I said, is this just another diversion? Somebody to throw a wrench in the plan to make these people appear innocent. And I was reading somebody's comment on his page, and this is something somebody said below the video, basically saying, yeah, they always want to put it towards the Wells, that they're guilty. Well, we're going to put it towards them because allegedly the mother was the last one with the child. So what are you talking about? Hell yeah, I'm going to think somebody did something to her. Her mother or father. That's what you said you last saw her at your house. So I'm supposed to believe somebody went up in the backwoods and stole a kid. When we know how people navigate down here. I live down here. I know how we navigate in Tennessee, East Tennessee. And I've been on back roads all the years I've lived here. I've done deliveries in places like the Holler. And you just don't go run up to these people's properties. Why? Private property signs are not. Do not enter, do not pass go. You know not to go up nobody's driveway. You ain't got no business going up there. It's not like living in the inner city and you just drive in somebody's driveway to say, oh, I'm lost. I need to use the phone. I'm looking for Pookie Ray Ray, but you know better. Because you already know you in the backwoods. You might be going back there, honestly looking for somebody's house, making a delivery legitimately, and get your ass missing because you go to the wrong house. I've done it. Way back up in the country doing a delivery 2 or so years ago. I was 21, winter of 21, and there was no sign. They said, oh, it's a sign. I said, I went to this person's house. I said, I don't see no sign for this street. They had their own little community off the main road. It went from pavement to gravel. Nothing but trailers. So just imagine I'm going to somebody's door thinking I'm at the right house, wrong house, didn't really know where the hell I was. I get out. The girl walks up to me and I tell her who I'm looking for. She could have easily said, oh, that's me. That's my food. I ordered that. And then I hand it to her and then they cut my throat. And all they had to do was put my body somewhere, chop me up, cover my car, and nobody would never know that I was back there. So I'm going to say this, because I always speak from experience, usually. Don't tell me somebody got kidnapped back there, okay? Because we know how people navigate back here, and people know not to go up lonely driveways, and you don't know what's on the damn driveway. Whether you are legitimately back there doing something right or not. I was in the damn dark. So like I said, those people could have kidnapped me, held me hostage, robbed me, any damn thing. Who was going to tell it? Nobody. You would have had my purse, my money, my house key, my door key, all of that. Debit card, all of that. The girl tells me, oh, you looking for such and such. Her trailer's over there. See what I'm saying? So then I had to pull out, drive around, go to the right house. That's dangerous. Being in the back of bumfuck Egypt, and you don't know these people. And I was black. I'm black too, in a place where there's nothing but white folks, country white folks. Not saying there's nothing wrong with those white folks, but I don't know them. And they don't know me. And I could have easily delivered food or something to somebody who didn't even like black people. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Don't tell me about East Tennessee, baby. I know what goes on here. Happy birthday, Annie. Hello, baby. So it's dangerous going to people's homes, period, nowadays. You heard about the little black boy that got shot by the older white man because he was looking for his brothers. He was going to a house to pick up his brother, and he got the wrong house, and the white man shot him through the door. So you see, you have to be careful going up to people's houses and doors. And you could be a legitimate delivery person, FedEx, UPS, it don't matter. People are ignorant. They shoot, ask questions later. You don't know people. That's the point. And I'm not here to say that somebody wouldn't go up in the backwoods looking to do something nefarious, but I don't think it happened June 15th. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But I don't believe nobody went back there because you can see how the road is made. You can't even see their house from the road. All you see is gravel and a broke up driveway. So how do you know what's at the top of the driveway? And you can't even see a house. So I'm going to be a kidnapper and risk going up a driveway that I don't know nothing about. Could have been anything up there. A shed, a camper, a trailer. It could have been anything up there. Why am I going up there? To break into a basement. You have to make it make sense. And you have never heard of any kidnappings in Rogersville, period. Holler or no holler. Flatland or whatever. That's the point. Not saying it can't be done, because anything can be done. But you have to use deduction. You have to count the lifestyle that the parents were living at the time. You have to count what's going on back there in the community. You have to weigh the setup of a house and how it's and where it's located. Easy access in and out. Getting in and out to not be discovered. All those things count when you're doing something nefarious as kidnapping. Now, the only way I would think the child was kidnapped is if the child wandered off down that driveway. She made it to the main road and was playing, and some creepy crawler drove by and just snatched her and put her in their car. That's that. Don stated, and I was the only one in chat heard him say that he made the grave facts. 5 people there, $20. Right. It is ridiculous. Relocate a child just like rehoming a dog or cat. Right. And damn, that's deep, rehoming. I heard that. I've heard that mentioned lately about pets. Well, like I said, you have to make it make sense. And I can't see a highly religious family taking the child and then not wanting to take her to church with them. I want to praise the Lord. I want to take my child with me. I got this child. Don't I want to take my child while I go to church? Most Christian people make their children go to church. So that would be strange too. You don't take your child. You adopted a child or you bought a child, but you're not going to take the child to church. I don't know about that. The only way there was an abduction is if Summer wandered off unsupervised. Yeah, that's the only way I would believe that too. I try to think that too. Wandered off, then was kidnapped, but I don't know anymore sometimes. Okay. Yeah, that's the whole point, is that you have to use deduction. And Chris Madonna, he told her that. Basically, what are the odds? Back here. And she said, oh, it happens in other places. And what did he tell her? He said, I'm not talking about other places. I'm talking about right here. What are the odds of a child getting kidnapped at this address? Exactly. That's supposed to have been Don's family home or willed to him. So you got to count all the people that lived at 110. and the others that's in the vicinity that had children, have children. None of their children come up missing, kidnapped. All of a sudden, 2021, yours go missing. But yet you had those same children there unattended while you out canoodling with boy H. And the kidnapper said, well, I don't want them. Yeah, 50-50. I don't want these little boys. I want a little boy that's actually a girl. Because her head was shaved. So even if you saw her from afar, if she had on regular street clothes and nothing feminine, you still would think that's a boy. So that's why I said, if the kidnapper came up there, he thought he was going to get some children. He thought he was getting a damn boy. Well, he had 3 other choices. Make it make sense. If for some reason I just feel that she was karate kicked, and there it is. What? And there it is. There. The secret rehoming. Dick Dollar, what you trying to say? They gave the little girl to somebody. Well, as I said about that, you want to risk having the child in your possession when there's an Amber Alert out for her? News broadcasts. Now, we know the children have been kidnapped. People have been kidnapped, and they were not murdered. But it's still risque if I want to raise the child and have the child seen by people and friends. And aren't people going to ask me, where did I get the child? Well, where did she come from? So then you got to lie and make up something. Oh, we adopted her from this agency, blah, blah, blah. What agency? You know, people ask questions. So that's why I always said with the Summer Wells case of handing her over or selling her to somebody, 9 times out of 10, she wouldn't be sold to a decent family. It would be for nefarious reasons. I would think that somebody would buy her. Gross as it sounds, but that's what I would believe. So I can't see some decent family buying her, taking her. No. Because no matter what, if I want to raise her as my own child, when am I going to take her outside knowing she's on a Amber Alert poster? Why would I want to be in possession of a child? How am I going to explain it? That's why I always say, if you're going to make the claim, chop it up, make it make sense. How am I going to explain having this little girl in my possession, especially if I live way away, Colorado or some shit like that? Sir, man, what are you doing with this little girl? How'd you get her? She's missing from Tennessee. Oh, well, I was just passing through, and I met her mom at the IGA, and she was saying she was struggling, and she needed to give her baby away. The odds of her being alive now are slim to none, sadly. That's what I'm saying. Because a decent person, even if they were foolish to buy a child, take a child in from a parent, you want me to believe they're going to hide the child in their house until they're 18 years of age. But they want the child. So why am I going to hide her? And they have to know that people are going to ask questions. Where'd you get the little girl from? Where her mom and daddy at? So you already got to have a lie ready. Oh, we met them online, and they told me they were struggling, and I decided to bring them. We went down there and got her. Got her from where? People are going to ask questions. Well, where's she from? Where's the agency? Where are the parents? You're going to have an answer for all them damn questions. You ain't got them answers ready, then somebody going to be side-eyeing you. Unless you're dealing with some people that's crazy and don't like to get involved in, you understand what I'm saying? And we do have people like that. But you want to walk around with Summer, you should know somebody going to ask some questions. Oh, you want to send her to school? Well, where are your documentations? Where's the birth certificate, social security card? You're going to get all that legally. Oh, I ain't got it. Going to enroll in school. Yeah, I adopted this little girl, or I took her in from her parents because they said they were having a hard time. Okay, well, where's her school records? Where's her birth certificate? Where's her social security card? I don't know. You think that? Whoop, 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 calling the police. So when you chop it up and you fine cut it, it don't add up. So then you got to go to the next option. It ain't kidnapping. For good reasons, rather. So that leaves kidnapping for nefarious reasons, such as abusing the child. SA. You can only do that so long, you'll probably discard the child. Okay? Accident. Covered up. Mother's worried about how it's going to look. She discards the child. Accident by a brother. Discard the child. How it's going to look. Worried. We discard the child. Some of you believe something was going on with the little girl and the father. But what I said on that note is that don't really make sense because Summer was going to church every week. So if you're so worried about what the school officials are going to say, CPS, it really don't make no sense because I have to know CPS was investigating me for that specific situation. How would an outsider know that? That my husband has been touching my child? You wouldn't know that. You would have to be a witness to it. And if you're a witness to somebody sexually abusing a child, wouldn't you then go call the police? You don't call CPS if you witness somebody touching a child. You call the damn police. So that option to me is null and void. She was already going in a public place. Robin saw her weekly. Stay woke. So wouldn't Robin and other people notice something nefarious in the child's demeanor? How she reacted to other children, boys, men, girls. See, you got to make it make sense. Robin would know better than anybody if something seemed off with her in that sexual manner, I would think, because she's right there. She could see the girl whole. She could see how she act, how she walk, how she talk. If the girl seemed too touchy or whatever, how she interact with the other school children in the church. Those are things you're supposed to be aware of. So that's why I always debunk the CPS theory, because she was already out in public to be noticed something nefarious. Now you can say, well, it's not like school. She had to get records and go to the doctor, this and that. But then as somebody else said, well, how do we know how thorough the doctor would be in giving her an examination? Is the doctor going to check her girly parts and, the other parts of her body to make sure, everything's lined up the way it's supposed to be for her age? I don't know. I don't know if they do a thorough exam of small children at the doctor's office. I think you should, because you want to make sure, nobody's being touched in those private places. Nothing's been penetrated. That would be the right thing to do. I wouldn't just be checking the tonsils and the ears and the heart rate. No, I let the parent know we're going to give your baby a full exam. There will be a nurse here present, if it's a male doctor, and we're going to check all cavities just because we're going to do that. That man didn't touch Summer. He did the dirt dead to protect Candace and had to repo her because of Robin. Okay. I believe she's somewhere back in that holler, and the people that put her there are not talking. Yeah, I think she's disposed of back there. Yeah, I don't think she's alive. And I do believe that she was discarded there because that would be the quickest and easiest place, to discard a child. In my opinion, that would be the easiest place. Get her gone. Let me get back up here. Let me talk to myself in the mirror. Let me, you know what I'm saying? Talk it out. What I'm going to say on the 911 call. Confer with my husband. Blah, blah, blah. You know, you got to know what you're going to say. No matter what happened to her. If it's, and the parents have knowledge, you got to talk that out to yourself, what you're going to say about what happened to your kid. You got to talk that out. Like, I'm in this phone talking to you. Well, that's the same when you get a mirror. And I went here, I did this, and then I did this. And you're going to have to talk that out. You got to talk it out with yourself. She probably talked it out with Don. And then the phone call was made. And here we are today with nothing. That's that. I'm almost at 2 hours. I'm going to check out of here. I'm going to rest up a little bit, eat a little something. Then I'm going to try to come back. I'm going to decide what I want to talk about. I hate when I do several topics in a live because they seem to go so long, trying to chop up all the information pertaining to the cases. But I don't know if some of you want to talk about the summer sighting or not, because we kind of branched off just now in talking about that briefly. And jumped off the alley situation. But it's up to you if you want to talk about that summer sighting, or I'll just bring some information pertaining to other news stories that I am behind on. Thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you, Ty. Why do you all keep saying search the property? I'm curious. You all don't think the cadaver dogs and scent dogs were not on the property? They told you, if you'd have believed Don, he said they searched 7 times. So common sense would tell you they had cadaver dogs and scent dogs on the property. That'd be the first place that TBI and the sheriff's going to look, is your property. They're going to check every hole, every bus, every car, every nook and cranny. And they had to use dogs. Yeah, I got to get something in my tummy, yeah. Oh, thank you, Jenny. Love to everyone, peace. We stand for all children. Exactly. Every child deserves a voice, and that is the God honest truth. And somebody's got to do it. If their parents and guardians won't do it, then you need somebody else that's going to stand in the gap and fight for these kids, because they are our future. You're welcome, sweetheart. We all were children once. So that's the point. We have to fight for the children. Now, we don't want to unjustly accuse anybody of doing anything to their child. We want to make sure that, we have all the facts. So just like in this case, most of us are going on our own personal theory of what we think happened to her. And naturally, it would be cruel to a parent to hear these things and they aren't involved in the disappearance of the child. But too much has been said and done by the parents that's suspect to me. And in my opinion, it's not how I would behave if my child was missing. I would be out here trying to find my child. I would have been out rallying with the public, posters, all that kind of stuff. They didn't do that. And that's bizarre to me, because you have people who are still passing out flyers, talking to networks about stories about their loved one missing, because they want people to stay abreast of what happened or what they just the situation. You don't have that with them. You haven't heard them say, we're getting ready to talk to Oxygen, A&E, Lifetime, Hulu, Netflix. We're talking to the news. We want them to keep updates. We're talking to the sheriff. We're talking to the TBI. They're using a private investigator. That should tell you something right there. Who uses a private investigator to speak to the damn police, and you live in Robertsville and your child is missing? Then you don't have your other children back. But I'm supposed to believe you had nothing to do with this little girl's disappearance. You've shown me you don't want none of your children. How about that? I'm doing it for my kids. You doing what for your kids? You ain't done nothing. You rather go live, go get a new dog, and that's something else. Lord, don't get me started. I should come back on that topic alone. Candace, why you got a new dog? I think I can. Why do you have a dog? I saw that video, I said, do you see this? Who does go get a damn dog and ain't got none of their children? You act like somebody who ain't never had no kids. Dog just got hit by a car and then go get a dog. Oh, Lord, my dog died. My dog got hit in the street. I miss my puppy. I miss my dog. I want another dog. All you cheering on, and you sitting up here playing with a puppy on a live stream. I said, man, you can't make this stuff up. Nubian, cut it out. Yes, not talking to L.E. Who is Amber? She's the lady that's friends with Allie. They grew up together in New York, and she's been on some live streams. Her, Nikki, Chris, and H talking about Andrew. Now they flipped the script, and now she's doesn't have anything nice to say about H. She's saying he's a liar. So she and her boyfriend got on Andrew's channel and gave their rendition of boy H being a liar. But the only thing that they got is the Cash App situation. Other than that, I didn't hear anything else about what he's been doing and how he was treating his mother and what did he do to his mother. I'd like to hear that. What has he done to Allie? This is all bizarre to me. Because my thing is, what's the secret? You're throwing him under the bus, so just tell it all. This is what you all didn't know was going on behind the scenes with Allie and her son. This is what he's been accused of doing. This is what he's done. This, and this. Nothing. Don't tell us nothing. Oh, that's okay. They had loads of dogs, and Chris interviewed what happened to them. Oh, they came and took some of those animals, Orange. No, you can't make it up. Right. Situation of someone they think you're making it up. Very good points, Miss Dixon. I said that the other day. That if I was to sit up and spin this case to somebody who had never heard of Summer Wells, Allie, all these people, and I just started talking, you should know if I was sitting around at least 4 other people, 3, one person is going to say, what the hell are you talking about? Who are these people you're speaking about? Are they real? Yes, they are real. Where they live, girl? Right here, East Tennessee? No, you're making that up. The little girl went missing from where, honey? From the holler? Huh? She went to see a boy. Well, what's she doing over there with the boy? It's on the news. They interviewed the boy on the news. Well, why not? A YouTuber interviewed him. This might be a black folk conversation. This will be some black folks talking. They ain't interviewed the boy on the news. Chris Madonna, who is that? His daddy got a YouTube channel. For what? The daddy like men's? Huh? What the hell you talking about, ain't you? Do you understand? Well, I'm making a joke that this would be more or less a black folk conversation because that's how it was going to go. What you talking about, girl? He missing. They missing. Where the brothers at? They in the States care. Huh? They didn't get the boys back. Why not? Well, what were the parents doing? Girl, you know it don't take no 2 years to get no damn kids back from the States. YouTube? Well, why everybody on these folk YouTube channel for? For what? A panel? To talk about what? Well, what they got to do with the little girl missing? You making this up. The YouTubers go to the house? Huh? For what? The daddy and the mama on the YouTube channel? For what? Huh? Girl, you making this up. They went to the church. For what? They filmed in the church. Now, you know we don't do no mess like that. They friends talking to YouTubers. Huh? Why they doing that? Girl, this don't sound right, girl. The boy that was with the little girl, his mama in the ICU. Huh? Well, what happened to her? I don't know. Well, what they doing talking about it on YouTube for? I don't know. Well, what this got to do with the little girl? Nothing. Huh? Cash App? What Cash App got to do with the story? I don't understand, Anya, what you're saying. Anya, I'm lost. I thought this was about the little girl you was talking about. New York? Well, what the fuck he got to do with the story? Cash App? What he need money for? He ain't got no money to go see his son. Anya, you confusing me. Well, did he go to Tennessee to see about his son? No, he didn't. Well, why not? Oh, they mad. They want their money back. They gave money to the little boy. I'm confused, ain't you? Now, why would they do that? You gave your money to a 17-year-old and you mad? Well, that's your dumb ass. He ain't about to pay for his mama's funeral with that damn money. He's a kid. Well, where's the grandmama and the mamas at? Where's everybody staying, Anya? I'm confused. Damn, Anya, you making this up. Well, is the mama alive or is she passed on? I don't know. Huh? You don't know? What the hell you been talking about all this damn time? Thank you for your time. I'll talk to you guys a little bit later tonight. You've been listening to the Vault XL. Stay warm, everybody. We'll be back later. Thank you.